I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drum's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soared into the light.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, Andrew. First come, first to come. Hopefully last to leave. So welcome to yet another flight on this channel. Today we're taking this beauty, the Airbus A350-900. This is, I think, my favorite aircraft of all time, and let me tell you, I like the classics. So I love the L111, I love the Boeing 747. They will still have a place in my heart, but my God, I love the 50. It's a beautiful plane. Today we're taking the beautiful Scandinavian SAS livery, which makes this plane even more beautiful, I think. It's visually stunning. This grayish color with silver letters. So let's start with our regular walk around. So we're checking the tire conditions. Look at this amazing work with the textures Inibuilds has done, down to the labels. You can't really appreciate this airplane until you actually fly in a Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. There's a little camera there. Unfortunately, these cameras aren't available on the cockpit. But so again, we're just taking a look at our aircraft. So let's take the covers off. Just checking the engine. It's comparable. I mean, I usually come here and look at the A320 engine, and I'm looking down. Oh, look at this. I need to look up. It's a beautiful Trent 1000 engines. These are sort of problematic. I mean, I would look at this titanium exhaust. Really cool, blue looking. They're not really problematic in terms of how they operate. It's just problematic because they're so new. Some issues, some teething, as usually said, need to be accounted for. So we're looking at the brakes. They look good. This is a brand new aircraft in the simulation, so not counting for wear and tear, but we're still looking for open panels, leakages. Also looking at these doors to guarantee that they're closed. We can open several of these, like this service door for the APU. So there's nothing a pilot can do actually, not even open these panels, but it's just cool to see. And look at that, what a beauty. You can see that the tail kind of narrows in the rudder area, which is kind of cool, makes it very sleek. Let's go for the right landing gear. Also check if the cargo doors are sealed, closed and sealed. Here we go, checking the brakes here as well. Looking for hydraulic leaks. Engine number 2, just checking around. Look at that, carbon fiber. Look at that, beautiful. A lot of this plane is built with carbon fiber, by the way. Beautiful. Can we turn? No, we can't turn the blades. That's only on the Phoenix aircraft. So let's check these doors. This is the service door for the air ducts, which are disconnected right now. It's also looking at these ducts here. Make sure they're not obstructed. It's an awfully quiet today because, you know, I've not been able to fly out of Nuuk in the past few days because engine's unpowered, so that's why we don't have the parking brake signal. But if these would work, we could operate all these switches, but it's not relevant for our op. On this side, same thing. So let's just shut the door and shut the door. All right, so let's take a look at the pitot and sensors. Remove the pitot tube protection as well as the static air protection. This is where the GPU will be connected. So currently the GPUs, both of them, are right here. They're not turned in. We'll set that up in a moment. Let's just look at the our cockpit oxygen. Currently is red. We need to energize the plane, and this is exactly what we'll do. Usually the stairs will be connected already, but they're not. So let's just operate the stairs here, see if they come. Here they come. So we can go in to our airplane, try not to get killed by the... Oh, hold on. Oh, all right, sorry. So the guy needs to move around the huge engine. That's why he's almost run me over. All right. Beautiful plane. This is the ULR, so this is the extended range version of the 900. It's more like the LR variant for the... It's good to see you too, Andrew. Sorry for not reading the chat. So it's like the extended range, like the LR version of the A321. Of course, this is the flagship from Airbus right now, so it needs to have a little oomph. So they say, instead of saying the LR, they just say ULR. There are two main variants for the A350, as you may know. One is this one, a 900, and the other one is the 1000. So let's just go up the stairs, and hopefully we won't fall. Usually, when this plane was released, if I move forward, I would just jump to the tarmac. Let's see what happens. Oh, doesn't even enter. All right, no problem. Just press Shift C, and we're in the cockpit. For those that aren't familiar with the A350 cockpit, this is it. It's beautiful. It's just as beautiful on the inside as it is on the outside. Lots of screens inherited by the A380 cockpit layout. So this is the part I love the most, is where I energize the planes, because the sounds are just amazing. So let's turn on the batteries. So batteries are testing to pass. Now let's turn on the external power. Now listen very closely. Beautiful, amazing. And now the system will go run its self-tests. It's ECAM warnings as it's running the tests. Let's carry on with INS. We can just turn them on right now. Waiting for the on-bat signal to turn off. Connect fuel supply, and it's off. And let's also turn on the fuel pumps. Just standard procedures on all Airbuses, really. It's not exclusive to this one. It's guaranteed that our lights are nav1. We got our logo to auto, and our strobe is also set to auto. Let's turn on our seat belts for the moment, as well as arm our emergency lights. Now these recent Airbuses now have a distinction between no smoking and no mobile, so we can turn on both. It's just guaranteed that we got our nav data updated correctly. Sorry, not this one. It's where is that? Oh, it's been a while since I flew this plane, so give me a moment here. There it is. All right, let's import the Simbrief. So we got this is incorrect, by the way, because it's loading the generic Inibuilds aircraft registration. So, but this is correct. So flight number is Scandinavian 776 from BGGH, which is the ICAO code for Nuuk, to ESSA Stockholm. All right. So we got this imported. Let's it's only not opening this store for some reason, but we'll open it right now. So everything is fine and dandy. The slides are disarmed. Just making sure we got it. So the airplane is completely empty. We'll just import data from Simbrief, and now we'll just wait for Simbrief to load in, kick in. GSX, I mean. All right. So let's confirm we got all data here. So cost index 152. Whoa. Talk about spending money here. So Nuuk to Arlanda. Arlanda is the name of the Stockholm airport. Flight level 410. This is one of the huge advantages of this plane. It can fly higher and faster than most of its class. So that's really cool. All right, let's load the flight plan while we're at it. So pretty much like an Airbus, you'll need to go to initiation page, company request, flight plan. In the meantime, I'll go to the ATC com and load beyond ATC. So let's go with PGGH. So PGGH and enter. Let's notify. We need to insert the flight plans. All right, now let's notify it. I still need to load the position. All right, so this is a bit different from the other Airbuses. So our flight plan is loaded. We can confirm that going through the flight plan page. The flight plan has been loaded, and now we're going to listen to. Oh, Beyond ATC isn't loaded yet. Let me load Beyond ATC. All right. Oh, today was fast. Its airport is also tiny, so that's probably why. All right. Let's load beyond ATC. Let's go to frequencies. Tune in 80s for Nuuk. Let's put this on the left side. We're waiting to listen to Nuuk. Of course, I need to turn on the radios.
You have information, Charlie. Nuuk Airport information, Charlie. 1908 Zulu. Wind tree 30 at 7.
Hello, Mirsha. Welcome.
Miles or more. Ceiling 500 broken. 1000 overcast. Temperature 0 tree. Dew point 0 tree.
Oh, we got snow.
8099er.
We got
Landing
snow.
and departing runway 04. Transition level 080. Bird activity in vicinity of airport.
Nice bird activity.
Advise on initial contact. You have information, Charlie.
So we got Charlie. Let's wait for the alignment to complete. Let's turn tower. This plane doesn't have clearance, so if we do want to request voice clearance, we need to do it through the tower, just like Madeira Airport. All right, so we got. It's gonna be a rough ride. We're expecting some icing, so we might need anti-ice. So I'm just requesting the METARs for now before we request our CPDLC. Let's hope that Beyond ATC does work, because it's very recent. They just updated the plane to have CPDLC working with Beyond ATC here on this plane. So we probably need to be able to notify connection after we have INS alignment. So we can do other stuff before that. Let's request our boarding. So let's go back, load with GSX.
Refueling truck is on its way.
It's going to refuel first. All right, gives us time. We're not going to take too much fuel today because this is a very short flight for this type of plane. You can see here the difference between the static models, which I think I will remove eventually, and traffic is a little darker, a darker red. There's another one over there, I believe. Yeah. If you have airports like these that are very small with such small aprons, just remove the static aircraft. But of course, in this case, most of the time the big airplanes will fly here. As you can see written on the tarmac there, A330 and A321 can fly in. I mean, we arrived here on A321. Thank you, Mirsha. Thank you for coming. So let's watch. This is a slightly different fuel truck than the ones we usually see. Oh, there it is. So it's self-sustained truck. No need to connect the hoses to the ground pipeline. So the guy's connecting to the airplane. I can't really say if that's where the nozzle is, but I would say it's close enough. You can see the panel opening there. It's pretty cool. So the guy just stays up there waiting for it to be concluded, and none of the other operations can go on until this is done because the truck is so big it interferes with the cargo loaders. But it's cool to see. But this is also the reason why most of the times I just make it instant refueling instead of relying on GSX to do it. So while we're refueling, we got some ground. So we're gonna go for block fuel. We can also see the cold weather accumulation. This plane has fully icing modeled, so if we do enter icing, we'll see some visual effects, which is cool, but also dangerous. So let's adjust. So integral light is okay. I mean, we got lights, enough lights. Just waiting. I really want to try CPDLC. So I'm just waiting for the plane to align its INS, which should be in about a minute. This is actually pretty cool. You see this written here, refuel in progress? This is a step up for Airbus because on almost all, if not all, Airbus A320 family planes, they went cheap with the letters. So instead of refuel in progress, it says on the upper ACAM when the airplane is being refueled, it says refueling, but it's not actually well written. It's like refulk because they just eat up the letters, which is nuts. But all right, here we go. We are notified to BGGH at 7:14 Zulu time, or 1914 Zulu time. So they've been notified. Let's see if we can get our ATIS, our D-ATIS, digital ATIS. I hope I didn't bork it by asking. Nav accuracy upgraded, thank you. We got auto update for at least Stockholm. Well, we got ourselves an ATC message. Let's check it out. Log on rejected, not yet supported. Oh, that's too bad. We just hit a bump. Oh, that's too bad. We cannot perform CPDLC, I think. Can we? Let's give it a go. Request clearance departure. So let's go to, we are at gate, oh my god, I'm so bad at gate numbers. So the refueling is complete. So I believe this is gate 1. So let's try CPDLC, see if it works. So gate 1, might as well do this on my side because I can't reach that. So again, let's just close this. Let's go back here. So let's go to ATC com, request, clearance, departure, gate 10, uno. Oh, D80's code, what was it? It was Charlie, wasn't it? Alright, let's see. Transfer to mailbox and send. Let's see, sending, sent. Alright, at least that part, sending, is complete. Let's see if what it replies. It would be cool if it could work. They said it was working. So we're just waiting for the little ringtone. Kind of like an old school telephone. Meanwhile, let's prep the cockpit here. It's taking an awful lot of time though. Usually these requests are quick on other planes, but we'll never know. So we're still waiting for the
refueling truck is on its
not
way.
again. I never got this to work correctly. So we got a TC message. Do we have a clearance? Yeah, there we go. Cleared, it's working. Clear to ESSA, runway 04 departure. Avil 1 Alpha, squawk 6635. Let's set that up before anything else. 6635. And we got ATC Charlie when ready, call 119.1. Unable, if unable, revert to voice. All right, let's will comply and send. We're gonna get a reply from that as well. Let's go back to our flight plan here. Let's press departure, runway 04.
Fuel truck is in position.
And let's request the SID, which should be, oop, it's gone. Let's recall it. Should be Evil 1 Alpha. There it is. No transition, temporary insert, done. So this is what we'll do. This is, I don't know what this is. Looks weird, but it looks like it wants to go right and then left. We might need to clear that. All right, thank you. I got the ATC message. So what's the second message here? ATC request status, CDA received, clearance confirmed. Alrighty. We got clearance, we got everything, but no passengers. It's going to be a pain in the rear end if I need to go and load the passengers by hand, because it's really fun to see, you know, airport operations when they work, but GSX, not that good. Alright, fuel is gone because it was already filled. So what next, guys? If I press this again, it will just load the passengers again. Do I need to do this? Request boarding by hand?
Requested.
No. So the cargo door is coming up. We're so far from the gate, I think it's going to be loaded by a truck. Whoa, that's funky. Look at that. What's going on over there? Over here. What the heck?
Passengers boarding starting.
It looks so weird. What's going on there? Whoa, it's trippy. Can we see that from the cockpit? Yeah, whoa. Something wrong with this scenery. I don't remember when I bought it. There's some. Oh no, it's a walk-in. Poor passengers, they have to walk all this way. I don't know what's wrong with the texture here. Weird. Anyway, as you can see, these are a lot of passengers. There's also loading a lot of cargo here. Yeah, well, 2 hours more, right? We are on GMT time, so sometimes we forget, Mirsha. Switch this to ARC and ARC. Let's see. There's something funky going on here. So DR0. Let's zoom in on this. So we are going for DRGA. DR04, this is it. Why do I need to make such a weird turn to the right and then go back to here? This looks like a bug to me. This weird circle here. Then we're going to go, so we're going to depart, turn south, and then all the way. This is the... Alright, still same QNH. Yeah, people are boarding. It's a pretty cool sight to see them boarding. Because there are four doors, but only 3 I used. And it's really fun to see that they get neatly divided. Meanwhile, the cargo is also being loaded. As you can see, this may be a small airport, but it's well geared with these big cargo loaders, these fancy stairs. The only thing it doesn't have is a jetway, but look at this effect on the windows. Look at that. You can see the these stains. These are from the different materials on these windows. They are polarized, so you see the different layers of I think this is specialized type of glass, plastified and reinforced. It's a pretty cool effect though. Actually, these windows do not open. Oh, sorry. These windows do not... My God, what's going on here? Can I see the cockpit? Thank you. These windows, they do not open like in other planes. So usually this window here and this one here, they will open on the A330, A320, 737, even the 777, but not on the 350 and not on the 787, the Dreamliner. So these are fixed windows, they do not open. Now you might think, well, the windows open not just for checking around, but also for the pilots to be able to escape in case of a fire on board or something. Well, that's what this hatch is for. They can just climb up the hatch and leave. There's also actually an actual hatch here. Where is it? Right there. So you can pull this handle, this whole panel will come out. There's a rope system inside and they can escape through there. It's a bit higher than a regular aircraft window, but that's better than staying inside, not being able to escape, right? Let's minimize this. So we're still waiting for the passengers to load. Let's check out the load sheet. So we're taking only 152 passengers. So you can see that SAS operates in a 3-class system. So first class, business, and economy. That's why it's not taking that much passengers. It's not going to be a full flight, not by all means. So we're just waiting for the passengers to load in so we can go into our calculations for mass and balance. And this is going to be the takeoff performance. So we're going to sync this with Simbrief, which is the expected carry loadout, and as well as synchronize with the current weather. And let's compute. Performance limited. Whoa. So this has happened to me before. So apparently it's stating that the performance for this runway is not enough for this plane, but it is. So we're gonna take off with Toga. But I do need the V-speeds though. Weird. I wonder if I sync with FMS, will it be different? No. Unable to find safe performance data. How about we change this to other config flaps. This has happened to me before though. So I'm going to take off with anti-ice. Still not renewal. Well, if we are limiting the plane performance, it's even worse, right? Oh, that's too bad. It's actually not 997, it's 909. But it says it's 907. Let's just try our best to take off with what we got. So 2193 is pretty within limits. What? If it doesn't want to, doesn't want to. So cargo is completed. So this is our flight plan. All the way to Stockholm. It will be abbreviated with some time acceleration. Go to our terminal charts for Nuuk. Let's get our amazing looking parking stands. So we're right here in Apron Alpha with stand number 1. And we got a full boarding complete. So this is the correct exit, correct SID. For some reason it's doing that weird thing. So we'll probably just ignore it. It's going to Amory, correct, and then GH507, and then Evulo, coming around from the runway to GH501. Alright, we'll keep this chart open for the time being. So passengers are loaded. Let's confirm the load sheet and set the proper weights on the plane. So initiation once more. Let's go to performance. Let's go fuel and load first. So we got zero fuel weight CG, and block fuel. So zero fuel weight will be 155.8 right there. 155.8. CG will be 28.2, and block fuel is 28.9. We're hearing the flight attendants. Passenger number is 152. Bam, done. All right, so now let's go to the performance itself. This is where we hit the speed bump because our planner didn't like making one. So sorry for those that. Oh, sorry about that. Incorrect. Transition is 8,000 feet. Sorry for those that are purists, but I'm going to make up some numbers here because if my performance doesn't allow me to get proper performance, let's call it 145, 150, and 150. So like I was saying, if my performance calculator doesn't give me that performance, what am I to do? I still need to properly take off, right? And this is the bad part because the trim is such a pain in the rear end. So take off THS for 41.1. I think we'll just use that number for now. And it's going to be flaps 1. we're gonna go with packs on and anti-ice. Well, we'll see. I don't think we have ice so far. We got +2, so no ice formation, but we may require anti-ice while flying. I would need to go into my charts and check out the icing parameters, which should be right here. So no significant meteorology. We got some drizzle, nothing too serious, and the temperature is 0.04, dew point 0.03. So dew point 0.03. Let's just go down to check out the charts, see if there's any icing data. There's some cloud formations in this region. Oh, we can open this on the browser. That's nice. Yeah, it looks. So the winds, the dominant winds are southbound. Sorry, northbound. So coming from the south mostly. I will take our chances with the anti-ice on while we'll be airborne. So let's go through our checklist before we do anything more. So cockpit preparation checklist, cockpit pins and covers, gear pins and covers, sorry, have been removed. Fuel is currently 28.9er, confirmed, battle reference 9er and cross-checked. Before start checklist complete. Alrighty, so this performance is kind of bogus. We'll make sure to adapt as we go. But so far so good. So confirm here through our surveillance menu. Turn on our transponder. Everything's set up, as well as our weather radar. Everything is on auto. Weather radar system is to the pilot side, and let's call it a departure. APU coming on. Does it work? It doesn't work. The beacon light doesn't work. We need to do this manually. I need to confirm the triggers. We need to confirm the triggers here because
Catering vehicles are on their way.
not catering. Oh my god. So we're going to prepare for push and start. We're going to require the catering to come in, unfortunately. Flap is open. Let's start our APU. APU coming in live. Bonsoir, Michel. Welcome. Sorry, I was diving into the systems and I didn't see you arrive there. You can see that the path is correct with the exception of that little circle there. APU starting up. Let's just close this. No need to be open here. I don't think you can hear the APU this loud from the cockpit, but okay. APU generator is available, so let's turn it on. Turn off the external power for now. And we got everything set up to call for ATC to request push and start. Can you guys hear the ATC? Is it too quiet for you guys? let me know. I can just make it louder. So we have request push and start approved. So we are now going to request it from the ground crew to clear the. Still waiting for the catering, unfortunately. But I don't think the catering. Oh yeah, it is. Oh, they're using Canadian. Nice. So we just need to wait for these guys to finish up. It was my bad. I was trying to. Yes, Michelle. You can see it right there. Dash 8s. They fly within Greenland, I suppose, because they don't have much range to go anywhere else. And I believe there are flights to northern Canada as well. Airlines that operate here are SAS, Air Greenland, and Air Canada, as far as I saw recently. Not sure what planes they take, but this is not a very popular destination. There's a huge town over there, that's Nuuk town. And if we continue to look this way, well, not this terrain here, but beyond this hill, you'll be flying to Canada directly. You can see it here. So if you look here, so beyond this hill here is over that direction is Canada. So it's not, and North America, of course. It's not a very big airport, so it can't really take big planes, but the A330 can fly here. The gate we're at, flying the 50, is actually where the 30 also lands. Air Greenland has it, a Airbus A330s. So I can see that this gate is way off. I mean, all gates are offset. Did the plane move forward for some reason? The gates are all off. When I say the gates, I mean the doors. The doors are off. Passengers were having a lot of trouble entering these doors. This needs to be adjusted. I need to take a look if Inibuilds has updated the GSX file, probably. Since this is the ULR, maybe there's a difference here. Alright, looks like we're just about to be ready to depart. Still waiting for the all clear from the ground crew. The sound is low, alright. I moved the volume up. Let's see if it's...
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push is completed and brakes are set.
There is icing conditions, 2 degrees positive, my guy. But alright. So we may need anti-ice. We'll see. If on the Airbus, you can set these buttons on because they're auto, so they will operate if needed. But you will get an ECAM status.
We are ready for pushback.
Because engines are off at the moment, so there's no bleed air for this operation. The APU is powerful, but not that powerful. Still waiting, lady. Stairs have been removed. We'll confirm if this is a GSX problem when we land in Stockholm. Got no interruption. So let's remove the GPU, no longer needed. And let's move the chocks. Parking brake is set. Can't wait to turn these engines on because Inibuilds tweak the engine sound, so I want to listen to that.
Locking gear.
Do we have airfield data? Let's see. Probably not. Such a small airfield. Doesn't look like we have it, so let's go back to normal ND. So let's go. What was our clearance? Face southwest. So we need to turn facing south. There's no way to face south apparently. Not with GSX. We'll just
Release parking brakes.
Oh, it's raining. Fun. All right, parking brakes released.
Commencing push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by until push is completed and brakes are set.
Copy that. So we cannot start our engines until the push is completed due to icing. They just don't want a mess on the apron. They'll give us a clearance to start the engines in a moment. Oh, beautiful. The 747 from Air France, Michel. I flew the 747-300 from Aerolíneas Argentinas out of Madrid to Cancun. Go figure. It was a weird combination. So Aerolíneas had this low-cost company called Airplus Comet. They did charter flights. That's the only time I flew the 747, and it was a 300. Unfortunately, I was so damn tired from that trip, I was unable to go up to the flight deck, and that's a shame. I really wanted to see the 747 live. The deck, I mean. So apparently, the ATC wanted me to taxi to the other way, so they wanted me to go tail to that direction, but there's no room for that apparently because GSX didn't allow me. It's actually not just raining, it's actually also snowing. It just started when we were departing. I'll turn on my track IR in a moment for your viewing pleasure, but I'm just using the mouse while I'm doing this, so we're good to go here. Still waiting for the clearance to start our engines. Let's go through our before start checklist meanwhile. Parking brake, it will be set in a moment. Takeoff speeds and thrust, we've set it. Slides will be armed in a moment. Let's arm them right now. Bam, armed. This is...
Set parking brake.
Beacon was off for some reason. Parking brake is set. So we're waiting for the nose wheel steering disconnect memo. And I believe now we got clearance to start our engines. Let's confirm that. Engines not started, call back later. Alright, so let's start our engines. Start number 1. So our nose wheel steering disconnect right there is set. Parking brake is set. Before start checklist complete. So we are Scandinavian 776 heavy to Stockholm. Engine number 1 started. By yourself, Michelle? How's that? Was it what's it called? Maintenance flight? Starting number 2. Man, I wish I had a 747 all for myself. Every time I flew big jets on long-range flights, it was always a mess. Lots of people. Very long check-ins, very long boarding. I don't really enjoy long-range flights, to be honest. As a passenger, that is. That wasn't long ago, 2008. Yeah, probably when I flew as well. 2008, maybe 2010, something like that. That's when I flew the 747 as well. To Cancun, Mexico. No, it was way more than that. 2001, 2002. It's way back. I'm an old guy, if you don't know. All right, engine 2 started. Let's call it in. Say we got a good engine start. Hello.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start.
Good
You can
engine start.
disconnect.
Have to start checklists. We got NTIs. We'll turn it on in a moment. And flight controls. Let's check them out. Full deflection left. Neutral. Full deflection right. Neutral.
Unlocking gear.
Full pitch up. Neutral. Full pitch down. Neutral. Full rudder left. There it is. Full rudder right. Neutral. Flight controls checked.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
We're gonna wait for the ground
Left
clearance.
is clear. Right is clear.
Right, there it is. Just waiting for the pin. Gonna be good to go. Let's call our fellows on the ATC to request taxi to runway.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy, taxi for departure.
Betsy's not here with me today again.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy, runway 04 taxi via Alpha, Romeo.
So Alpha,
Runway 04 taxi via Alpha, Romeo, Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
Alpha's right here. Why is it help me? Wow. So we need to backtrack probably, that's why. Let's go, terminal chart. Leave it there. Let's put it in night mode. It's prettier. Alright, we're ready to go. Let's advise on our cabin to get ready. Here we are. And ground spoilers, let's set it to arm. Flaps 1. Auto brake set to max. Cabin is ready. Flaps are still traveling to the 1 position. I'm doing this now because I'm going to call tower right after we finish this. And takeoff config. Oh, the pitch. We need to be 28.9. That's why I left this open. 28.9 and enter. Alrighty, now we're set. Let's again press takeoff config. Righto, full green. ECAM status no blue. Alright. After takeoff, taxi checklist. Well, flap setting, flap set to 1. And checked radar. Let's turn it on. Righto. Set terrain on the right side. We got radar is on and ECAM status no blue. Checklist complete. Next one will be lineup checklist. Let's bring it up. So let's taxi for the active. Parking brakes off. Track IR is coming on. There it is. And why is it not moving? Oh, I know why. Give me a moment for the track IR. Just a second. Just a second. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. If I don't turn it on, you guys won't be enjoying this. not working. Why? Give me a second here. Sorry about this. The clock will be turned on when the plane departs, you'll see. Thank you for reminding me, Misha. So track IR. What the heck is going on? Oh my god, what's going on? Sometimes this happens, you turn on track IR and the system just dies. Talking about the track IR software. I will just go without track IR. I'll turn it on in mid-flight. Sorry about this. Alright, let's taxi to the active. Heavy plane. Heavier. Alright, let's call it in. Let's request departure.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy, ready for departure. Runway 04.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy, Nuuk Tower, wind 330 at 7, runway 04, cleared for takeoff.
We are clear for takeoff, but we will of course backtrack the runway.
Cleared for takeoff. Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
It's not like Madeira, where we request departure and it tells us to backtrack first. Apparently that procedure is not implemented here. There's no way we could take off from this alpha holding point. We would definitely go with the fishes. So not a pleasant day to fly. I've been through worse. We've been through worse. Let's hope that conditions are better in not Copenhagen, Stockholm. I'm saying Copenhagen because that was the initial intention. I wanted to fly to Copenhagen, but it's been a while since I flew to Stockholm, and I don't have a Copenhagen airport. I can't buy all airfields, unfortunately. It's on a bucket list. You can see how wide you can make a turn here, because this is designed for the A330. So with the 50, we only have a bigger wingspan. As for the rest of the dimensions, they're pretty close. It's only the wingspan that's wider. Come on. Come on, it's some pushing. Alright, there we go. Lineup checklist, cabin crew. Ready and signal, takeoff runway checked, runway 04. Packs 1 and 2 are both on. Let's turn on our... I didn't turn on the taxi lights. So, this is why people tell me that I don't follow procedures. Alright, APU bleed off. We don't think I'll be needing that for now. So let's go. Thrust 50. Check the timer here, Misha. It's gonna set it off automatically. You'll see. Alright, let's go Toga. Not Toga, but Toga. Toga set. It's better to go Toga than not at all. 100. Rotate. Positive rate, gear up. I said gear up. Here we go.
Scandinavia 776 Heavy. Contact Nuuk radar 121.3.
Center on 121.3. Scandinavian 776 Heavy. Bye-bye. Nuuk radar. Scandinavian 776 Heavy. 2,200 feet.
Speed check flips up.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy, Nuuk radar. Radar contact. Climb to flight level 190.
190.
Climb to flight level 190. Scandinavian 776 Heli.
So we are in the soup. It's a mild soup, so no big deal. We did make a very high performance turn there, but as you can see from the chart here, we should have gone forward and turned all the way here, but we did an awful fast turn. Alright, autopilot 1 set. So I need to clear stuff. Give me a moment, I got a phone call. And I'm back. Alright, we're still following constraints. We're climbing for flight level 190. Everything looks fine and dandy. Just clearing the plane, so flaps are up. We don't have an after takeoff checklist, unfortunately, but we can follow some memory items. So we only add approach after this. Go back to flight plan. So yeah, this is the Inibuilds A350. For those that are familiar with heavies, Airbus heavies, this is a must-have, I think. Inibuilds have been working really hard to make things work. They run into some glitches, some bumps. As always, this is not an easy plane to model, but I like the current state. There are some things that I think are very educated guesses, but yeah, it still is a great airplane to fly, even though some things feel like they're running on rails. So QNH going to standard. There it is, and there it is. If you know how to fly an Airbus, you can clearly fly this plane. It's actually easier, in my opinion, because there's so many automation and so much automation, and there's a lot of new features, cool features. So we got new D80s. Let's confirm. We go to ATC com, D80s. Nothing. So this is a bug. It says it's received, but it is not received. So probably it's probably because I pressed that button before. So let's just reset this, because the request is pending, as you can see. Let's BGGH. So these are good examples of stuff people will run into. So what's going on over there? So the pending request, it's probably because before I checked in. So in order to check in, you need to go through here. You press the airfield and you just press notify. Before I did that, I had pressed D80, so it's probably stuck on that. So we don't have METAR warning info for now, which is a bum. Check it out, Mirsha. Right there, the clock runs on its own for flight. So minus one thing to remember. All right, we're coming out via our chart. We're following the chart as best as we can. I was talking about the chart having a wider turn. That's simply because it's set up for all kinds of airplanes, not just a high performance A350, so, and fairly empty A350, so it will give you like a wide performance, but it's just telling you where you should go.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy, climb to flight level 410.
410.
Climb to flight level 410, Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
All right, so weather seems to be fine at this altitude, at least. We are turning into Evolo, and that will be our final waypoint for this SID, Standard Instrument Departure. So if you guys like Airbuses, there is no better chance to get one proper Airbus than FLIGHTSIM Labs A321Neo, like it's written on the lower left screen of your screen. I'm giving away a key for that particular module for Flight Simulator 2020 or 2024, your choice. The key will work for both versions. It's an amazing airplane. You can check my channel to see the many flights I've done with it till today. FlightSim Labs is updating the aircraft as we speak to include the Pratt & Whitney engines. So that will be the next big update. I've been told by the production that the development of the Pratt & Whitney engines is going fairly quick. So we should have something probably this month or the next. We'll see. The team is also working a lot in developing new liveries, some bug fixes, some further innovations, some tweaking to make sure that we get the best possible simulation. As for Inibuilds and A350, they also came a long way. They're also working on this plane actively. But as you can see from little things like these, it can be a rough ride sometimes. Let's see if the print all works. Not even sure the printer works. I know it works on the FSLTL, or is it the Phoenix? I know it works in one of these planes. I think it does work, and yeah, it does work on this plane, but it's not working right now. Well, not with this feature. And that's a big shame. So, no messages. Well, this is, let's see if this works. Yeah, see, the printer works. It's just not receiving the so this is the clearance we got earlier. That's pretty cool. We can print it out. That's about it. D80s is basically the 80s for these airports, the digital 80s. And if it can't find an 80s, it will just parse the METAR for you. It will just print the METAR. Yeah, it is a beautiful plane, Mirsha. I mean, the cabin, we'll take a walk on the cabin in a moment, but I just wanted to show you this cockpit is just brilliant. And it's very comfortable. These chairs, they look very comfy. There's an extra chair right there for the remaining crew member. Usually these flights, they operate with 3 crew member on the cockpit. As for the way Inibuilds develop it, they're very good with texturing. They're very good, and modeling. Texturing and modeling is their thing. There are some things that still need some tweaking, some work. For example, Captain Sunshade click spot is very hard, very finicky. But you know, these small items, they're not important for the flight, but they kind of put you inside the plane, right? What just happened? Whoop, it's back on. What just happened? Oh, all right. I'll tell you what this is. So this is a bug not caused by Inibuilds themselves, but by something called the LOD. Microsoft and Asobo changed the way the models are designed, and, well, not designed, but the way they are depicted, and that takes a level of definition over distance. So if I zoom out from my plane, resolution reduces, number of objects drawn are reduced, so that's in save memory. Unfortunately, that creates some hiccups. Now, in some other planes I flew recently, you get some weird lighting effects as you look around, but on this plane, look, if I zoom out, check it out. First thing I've noticed is that I lost the arrows here. Check it out. Arrows in, arrows out, arrows in. That's not really a big issue, but if I zoom out even further, I lose most of my panels, and I can actually see holes in the panels. So this is an LOD issue. I thought this was resolved, but apparently not completely. Too bad. It's better not to zoom out too much. So like I was saying, cabin looks very comfortable. It looks very nice, very well modeled, and I hope I'm not. Yep, I am messing with the flight stick. I really don't want to mess with the flight stick now. Let's see, shift. Yeah, shift. All right. So we're moving around the cabin, and I'll show you a few tricks here. Some very cool tricks. So see here, this is the avionics bay, and we can actually go down there. Look at this. How cool is this? These are all the computers on board. So all these computers, so the OSFC computers, more computers, and well, avionics mostly, a few more, and other ones. And I think if I don't know, I'm not sure. I think these are very important items. Oh, well, all items are important. I think these are the batteries. If I could be mistaken, sorry if I'm mistaken, but I remember a live stream Inibuilds did, and these four items, there are two on each side, were actually pretty important. So I apologize if I don't remember what they do. Unfortunately, this door doesn't open. You look at the beautiful sky below. But this would lead to the cargo hold compartment. This will also lead outside. So if you open this door, it has actually a hatch that you can exit, or for the maintenance to access this area. So pretty cool section. This is where the main landing gear would be beneath this. So we're back in the cockpit. You can close the hatch, and I'm going to show you a few cool features. So let's open this door. No, not this one. Sorry, this door here. All right, let's open the door. And now we're in the cabin. And check this out. Is the lavatory occupied? It doesn't open. Wait a minute. I don't want to mess with the flight controls. All right. Yeah, it doesn't open. Weird. It used to work, unless it's on the other side. No. No, this is the crew lounge. It should open. For some reason it's not. Maybe they blocked it. But anyway, let's carry on. We open this curtain and we are in first class. You can see the passenger. Look at that. What are you watching, man? Are you okay? Your TV screen is on. Just kidding. So this is the first class cabin. There's another curtain there. We're walking very slow here. Apologize, but that's the fastest it can go. Now this is the lavatory, and you can even flush. Or you could. I'm sorry, guys. Today doesn't seem anything to be working today. Weird. This is a standard cabin. Of course, there are more cabins. Inibuilds actually has some cabin packs. Oh, this is also first class. I thought this was business. Unless they use the same seats for business. They look very comfortable. Look at that. I wouldn't mind flying this all the way to Stockholm. Can actually look outside. Brilliant. And then on the very end, you'll have, of course, the cheapos. What are you playing, kid? Ah, nice. Mario. Cool. What are you reading? Color conscious. Dicas de moda. That's Portuguese. Oh, that's cool. We had a Portuguese passenger flying SAS out of Nuuk to Stockholm. That's not suspicious at all. Nice, not drinking beer, sir. Thank you for cooperating. Alright, there's another. Let's see if this bathroom flushes. Yep. How about that? I bet you always wanted to do that. Alright, this is the economy. Cheap guys. It's also okay with the Nintendo Switch there. Yeah, oh, there's another one with the Switch. And this lady is just, what are you doing there? Is that an iPhone? It looks like an iPhone. Yeah, it's all generic, of course, but it's cool. It gives you some, you know, some immersion. These cabin lights are also fully operable. During the day, there's no need, but actually, I didn't turn off the seatbelt signs for these poor fellas. I need to go upstairs and do that. So let's just go to reset position. And now we are pretty much not going to make too many major turns, so let's just take off the seatbelt signs so they can walk freely. They are armed, but the system will just remove them. Alright, let's see if the seatbelt sign signals are off, and I'll show you the crew monitor. It's right here. So you can set up the lights. So you can set up different zones. So medium dim, we can go extra bright, bright, and bright, and you can, well, you can mostly see that at night, but you can see it now has this tone, this red tone here, but it's more visible at night. And you can also check the temperatures. You can actually increase or reduce. I don't think this is working. Yeah, it's not working. It's just for show. The doors, of course, this can be operated right here. Let's not do that in flight. And of course, we got the water, the waste quantity in the water. So this will run out. Actually, you'll as you fly, this accumulates. It's actually pretty cool. And you can actually request a refill or an empty, and that will just reset the system. But you can also use GSX, and I think it's connected to this. I'm not entirely sure, but GSX, you can request water service, and that's it. There's nothing with the caution, or can turn off the screen, but you can have a quick view of what's going on. So the smoke detection, if there's someone smoking, it will tell you. There's also the water and waste. I'm not sure if this is the correct indication. And not even this one. I think this should only indicate the smoke detectors, which are only present at lavatories, if I'm not mistaken. Unfortunately, the crew rest isn't working for some reason. I mean, the door slide highlights, but nothing works. And that's a shame, because I really wanted to show you. Can we clip in? Oh, we can. All right. So the door doesn't open, but we can clip in. So this is the crew rest. You can actually, you have this nice chair, and then you have this nice resting place for the crew. This is only used for, you know, long-range flights where the crew rest. Usually this airplane flies with reinforced crew on long-range flights, such as Lisbon to, well, we don't have 350s in Lisbon. Let's say London to New York or something like that. Then there will be a reinforced crew, meaning that there will be always 3 pilots in the cockpit, and then there could be 2 or 3 pilots up down here. They will be resting, of course, and if need be, they can just go back to the cockpit and take over. There's also a set of alarm systems around here, or one speaker right there, and they can be called in at any time. The same will be, oh, so stand by. I think I turned off the autopilot accidentally. Yep, I did. Oh my god. Let's recover the plane here. It's my bad. I was pressing the keys and unwantedly I just turned off the autopilot. Alright, there we go. Crisis averted. It's not the first time I've done this, unfortunately. Let's just resume flight. Sorry about that. You can see the live stream. It's a bit... Oh, someone subscribed. Thank you for your subscription. Oh, it was Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. And complementing the beautiful cockpit, there's the beautiful external model. The A350 is a brilliant looking plane. I think Airbus hit the mark when it comes to airplane design. Quick story about the A350 design. It was supposed to be, of course, an evolution in every single aspect. The fuselage, as you can see, is designed to be optimal, so it's pointy, which isn't really a very important aerodynamic aspect to the plane, but it does make it look cool. And then it narrows all the way down here on the tail. But the biggest issue, well, not an issue, but the biggest feature on this plane are these amazing wings. They're beautifully designed. These winglets are just, they're embedded, so they're just brilliant. Gives the airplane a wonderful wing look. Look at that. I mean, brilliant, amazing. Now, when it comes to the cockpit design, the cockpit window design, landing lights can be turned off. When a guy goes back to the cabin, there's always something left behind. When it comes to the cockpit itself, it's, as you can see, it doesn't look like anything Airbus has done because of the nose shape. It's pointy. Again, being pointed is not really an advantage in terms of aerodynamics. This has been told by an aerodynamics engineer. But the window itself is streamlined and designed to follow the flow of the nose, and that's actually inspired. I wouldn't say it was copied from, because that's a very strong word. It was inspired by another Airbus, actually, the Airbus A320. So designed by, originally designed by Bombardier. They purchased the A320 model from Bombardier, and if you look at the A320, you will see that the windows, although it doesn't have 6 windows, it only has 4, you will see that the windows are very similar on the 350. Well, it's the other way around. The 350 is similar to the A320. the design was inspired, the way it was designed was inspired by the A220. These windows are a piece of art on their own, by the way. They're very beautiful, and it gives the plane this really cool look. But there's also a feature to it, the fact that it has this black outline. You've seen this on the Neos as well. This is by design. This black outline is actually a black paint to help with the window de-icing. It's not doing the window de-icing, it just helps de-icing the window. So it's actually a feature, the black Zorro mask. But the design itself, it's designed to be much more aerodynamic, and everything about this plane is about aerodynamics, of course. If you look at it, look at this. And you can see here yet another cool feature that's not really seen if you don't pay attention. Can you see that there's a little bulge here? There's a slight bulge there. That's also an aerodynamic design, well, intentional aerodynamic feature to help with the cockpit position. So if you take a good look at, well, to the extreme, let's look at the Beluga aircraft. The cockpit needs to be at the same level as the cabin, and so the rest of the plane is designed above to carry those big loads. But the cabin, in order to have the cockpit not interfering with the entry to the big doors, the cockpit is lowered. Not the cockpit. The cockpit's not exactly lowered. It's in the right spot. It's just a fuselage that's raised. So yeah, it's a cool feature. It kind of gives it like a bird of prey stance, at least in my view. It's cool looking, at least. I like it. So we're not seeing any ice, unfortunately. I really wanted you guys to see it, but there's no icing today, so it was just those guys in Nuuk being overzealous. I really would like you to see the ice forming around the airplane. I'll do some winter flights for sure, and we for sure will see icing being formed. So back to the cockpit. So right about now we are going to make our speed adjustments. So in order to make this flight not last like 10 hours or something, I think the full flight should be about 3 hours. We're gonna accelerate time. But before we do that, I got some messages here. I want to read them. It's probably just confirmation like the load sheet. Not here, sorry. So where is that? AOC is the flight plan. Okay, yeah, this is the METAR. So we didn't get it on the MFDs, on the CDUs, but we got it here, and we are going to request it over and over again. So we got the METAR and the TAF for Nuuk. We got the METAR for Stockholm. So looking pretty good. We can actually insert this data for now. Yeah, well, no, with the 80s, unfortunately, still bugged. But let's insert this data. So we're going to go for ESSA. Let's check our flight plan here. We are going to take runway 08 via LTOC 75. 08 ILS. Why 08? It doesn't have an ILS. It's probably not going to be this one. It's probably going to give me an ILS. So, but I'm going to insert what's in the flight plan for now. So let's go localizer via. There's only one via, and the star will be LTOC 75, 7S actually, LTO 7X. Insert. All right, so we got the data in just for the sake of having the data in, because this will definitely, most likely, that is, not be our actual landing runway. So let's go now to the performance approach. let's insert the weather data. So magnetic wind for Stockholm is, where was I? AOC. Stockholm is, let's go for the METAR. 130 at 7. 30. Sorry, I need to press this. 130.7. And we got weather 16 OAT QNH 1022. Correct. Yeah. 16 degrees. .1022. All right. So the minimums, we're going to need to really know what our approach will actually be, because I'm not trusting this METAR right now. I'm sorry, this OFP, sorry, because I think this runway is not really, it's not really cool for the wind. So if it's really coming from 130, I would rather take one of the other ILS runways. It's not that strong, but still 7 knots. All right, we're right on the verge of performance here. So this is because the plane is probably too heavy for this altitude, but it was the one that Simbrief gave us. So you might need to lower our altitudes quite a bit, or this could have been caused by my earlier mishap. So we're just going to increase our max speed to 0.80. Let's see if the plane can accelerate to that. Wind is very mild, only 2 knots at this altitude. It's pretty rare to see that. It was definitely provoked by my early mishap. But again, I like when these things happen, because this is something you can also encounter when you fly these planes, and it's cool to see how you can solve these problems, or how you can prevent bad stuff to happen by just be on alert. So it's slowly accelerating for Mach 0.8, which is right on our performance. We can actually press this in and see what it does. It actually goes beyond Mach 0.8. So when we had that mishap, it defaulted to airspeed hold. And I didn't notice that because I was distracted showing you the cabin and all that, and I apologize, but the fact that it was doing that, it was just holding speed before it reached this, which is the stall buffer. It's not, the plane won't stall because the system won't allow it, the protection system, but also because it will be a high-speed stall, so we just needed to be careful. So let's go accelerate our time here. So let's go up to 4 and let's set to auto, but we need to keep an eye out to see if there's nothing fishy happening while we're doing this at time acceleration. But as we do that, we'll be in Stockholm in a jiffy. We're flying against the sun, so it will be dark in a moment. So once more, This is a flight from the Airbus A350 out of Nuuk airfield in Greenland to Stockholm in Sweden. We're expecting some very mild weather today, so I've been having some issues with the weather lately, and the weather's been bad, that's what I'm trying to say. So I've been avoiding making this flight, but things have gone quite well today, and aside from a small hiccup with Beyond ATC not able to send METAR via data link to the airplane, which is something I'm sure they will be solving soon, so far the flight is uneventful. I also did a small tour through the cabin and accidentally pressed the nose down. And that's just a streamer hiccup, not a plane hiccup. If you guys want to fly in style, I'm giving away the FS Labs A321Neo, as you can see in the lower left of your screen. So if you want to win that plane, I got the key for a Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 or 2024. All you need to do is just help me reach 100 subscribers and come to my chat and tell me if you were to win, why it should be you. So I'll pick a winner from the best answer. I already have a couple of participants, so still going. I was expecting this to be reached in about 2 weeks, but boy, was I optimistic. So if you guys are watching, just watch now. We are going to Stockholm, Sweden. I just started time acceleration. So we are doing Mach 4 right now, something like that. Not even the Concorde would fly this fast. If you guys have any questions, you can ask in Portuguese as well. I am Portuguese, so feel free to chat. I think Michelle, Mersha, and Andrew are still around, hopefully. And you guys, if you want to support the channel, I now have a Buy Me a Coffee account. You can see it on the upper right of your screen. There's also a link in my channel description, and in the beginning and the end of this video, you'll see a QR code with a direct link to it. So this is a non-profit channel so far. I am not sponsored by anyone, and I need to buy all my add-ons, my planes and my scenery. So that's where, if you guys want to support, that's where it'll go. Just buy scenery, buy more sceneries. I was looking to buy the 737 MAX from Flight One. That will be a cool addition. And any airport you guys would like me to go, if I can find the airport, if it exists, I will gladly buy it. As you know, Flight Simulator 2020 and 2024 do model the entire world, but the airfields are mostly low resolution or outdated. If you want to be on the verge of technology, you need to buy those airports to get proper scenery to fly to and from. And so this is where the money comes in. I don't mind doing this for fun, but at some point, if I need content, I need to get stuff in. Money is just not floating midair, so you can grab it with a hook. That would be cool, though. So if you want to see where the flight is currently, we're right here, and we're flying at 4 times speed. We're just off the shore of Greenland, and this is Iceland, and then this is Norway, and then Sweden. So we will be overflying 2 other Scandinavian countries. We're just about to cross to the Icelandic ATC. Just a slight turn to the left there. And as you can see right up front, that's the moon right there. Moon's rising. As you fly closer to the Arctic, we're in the summertime, so the sun only sets for a few hours. As you go north, it will never set during the summer, I think. And the opposite happens in the winter. It never sets, it never rises in the winter, at least during a short period of time. So that's why we have so much sun at local time, which is 9 o'clock local time. It's still sunny. That's cool. If we fly right now to Lisbon, Portugal, it's night, dark night. Not Batman. I mean dark night. The black skies. That's what I meant. As you can see, time has been accelerated, so the flight duration will not be what it is expected from the flight plan. It will be much shorter in real time, but Flight Simulator will still be able to give us the correct time. So we are expecting to arrive in Stockholm at midnight Nuuk Zulu time, or local time, I believe. That will be in about 3 hours. So if we would to make it real time, so we are shortening that quite a lot, probably just 45 minutes, 50 minutes probably, give or take, of real flight. I remember when I flew VATSIM, and I never flew, I think I flew once the Concorde, but I never flew regularly the Concorde because it was so complicated to fly solo with it. But I remember going in transatlantic flights and I would ask for time acceleration in the early days of VATSIM. I don't know if that's still possible. It's been so long since I flew VATSIM. But it was cool. We can request time acceleration so we can shorten our flights. And I was speaking about the Concorde because there was a guy that usually I would find him in the VATSIM servers. Give me a moment.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy. Reykjavik Control, Scandinavian 776 Heavy. Good afternoon. Flight level 410.
And I'm back. So I was saying, usually when I flew, Reykjavik Control. So we're in Reykjavik Control now. So I was saying, when I flew the transatlantic flights over the North Atlantic, there was always a guy flying the Concorde in and out of London. That was really cool. And he always asked, I mean, can you think about it? The Concorde, Mach 2. And he himself also requested time acceleration. I always found that really puzzling, really fun. So you can see that as the moon rises, the sun is setting. The sun is already set. And as we're flying so fast, we can actually, there's the sun right there. So the twilight time is beautiful, and I think if anybody flies these flights, hello AMC Richard, thank you for coming, thank Thank you for your presence. Always good to see you, Richard. So, like I was saying, these kinds of flights that take 3, 4, and more hours. So I would say those flights that, for example, I've made a flight to Luanda in Africa. It took me 7 hours. If you want to do these flights, I think it's best you pick either first class if you can afford it, or at least business class. Never take economy if you can't avoid it. If you can avoid it, because it's just so uncomfortable to be in these flights. Yeah, no, it's my pleasure, Richard. You, Mirsha, Andrew are habitual, so I just like to see you guys here when you can come. But of course, I have to thank Michelle that was here earlier as well. He or she, I think it's a she. Michelle, for me, is a female name, so I apologize if not. Apparently, it is. So she subscribed to the channel. English is not my main language, and you can tell that. So we're still not even halfway, but we are getting some good time with time acceleration, and it's actually cool that you can see the colors changing. It's actually a pretty cool effect from Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So guys, sorry about the plug, but if you want to support this channel, feel free to donate via Buy Me a Coffee. Remember, this channel is not non-profitable for now because, you know, it's a small channel. I'm not doing this exactly to be rich, of course, but like I was explaining earlier, if I want content, I have to buy airplanes and scenery, and I definitely want more content to bring you guys. So that's exactly where your contributions, if you can, will go. Just new sceneries, new airplanes. I'm looking to get the Boeing 737 MAX. That's one. I'm also looking into getting the MD-11 from TFDI. I think that's their company name. The MD-11 is a classic, and I love that plane. I used to fly the MD-11 back in the day. I think it was PMDG that had the MD-11. I just missed that plane so much because it was so cool for its age, and it had so many automations. The overhead panel had a lot of automations, a lot of stuff you didn't have to touch, and that was way before Airbus automations kicked in, and they were pretty cool. Or I don't know if it was way before, maybe halfway when Airbus was still growing and then the MD-11 was developed. It was a very cool plane. So that's another plane I wanted to get. And of course, I'm really looking forward for the Inibuilds A340 once they get it. They're building the A340-300 Classic, and of course the Aerosoft A330. So all these planes are in my bucket list to acquire, as well as the PMDG fleet. I only have the 737. I do not have the 737 anymore because it was just an FS 2020 airplane, and PMDG did not upgrade it. The link for what? AMC Richard, sorry. The link for the these airplanes I'm talking about, the MD-11, for example, is that what you're asking for? You can easily search online Microsoft Flight Simulator MD-11 and you can find it. There's only one being developed right now. So again, guys, if you can, if you're feeling generous, my Buy Me a Coffee QR code is on the upper right of the screen. Sorry for the plug. And if you want a link in my page description, there's also a buy me a coffee. I'm gonna add it in the future videos to the video to the description, but I didn't do it today because I already had prepared this live stream in the text for it, and I only configured the buy me a coffee a couple of days ago, so apologize for that. But the link, the direct link, hyperlink, is on my page description on YouTube, and you have the QR code on the upper right screen. You may need to make it full screen to read it because it's a little small. Oh, Richard, you don't have to, honestly, but if you wish, it's on the QR code on the upper right. And thank you if you feel like it. I really don't like push people to subscribe, so I just did that as, like, you know, if you do want to help, it's there. If not, just enjoy. It's good enough for me if you guys just enjoy. Let's turn on some floodlights. Oh my god, I really hate how the zoom is connected to these knobs. Alright, that's good enough. I remember back when I started flying in flight simulators, there was no such thing as YouTube live streams or tutorials. I had to learn how to fly my planes by hand, by reading manuals, lots of manuals. I remember I had these huge. Oh, okay, Richard. I'll add the link. If I can do it right now, I will. You just need to refresh the page. Let me see if I can do that. If I can, it will be cool. I'm not sure if I can edit the video while it's still going, live streaming. But if I can, I'll do it right now. Yep, I can. So let me add this QR code here. Give me a moment and then you can refresh the page. Give me a second here. All right, so view page, there it is. I think I can edit the video details. So we're getting some turbulence. I'll get right on it in a moment. All right, Richard. You can refresh the YouTube page, and you will have the link on the video description, if you wish. But again, no rush. No need to do it if you can't or if you don't want to. So we got some nose wind, that's why we're getting these little bumps. Remember, the time is accelerated. So we're reaching a very interesting point in our flight, which is the ETP. This is like the no return point. Up to this point, if I have an engine failure or anything that forces me to land as soon as possible, this is the point that tells me that it's either better to go back or go forth. So passing the ETP it's preferable that you just continue on the flight because the distance will be shorter to the destination than it would be for the origin. But if until there, if I have an issue, then this allows me to see where the midpoint for my flight plan is set. So it's a pretty cool addition to flight plans. The A321Neo has this as an option as well. So you can see the ATP on the flight plan. It's actually a software update for the airlines. There's no sensor involved. It's just software. But it is a software upgrade, so some airlines don't have this. May not have this. Another thing that's fairly new to the A350 and the A380 is the vertical profile, this little box here. This allows you to see your vertical flight plan path. So right now it's level because we are flying in cruise, but as we reach the top of descent, we'll see here a green line going down, and then you have the MORA, which is like the safety altitudes related to ground. So a lot of the stuff that shows up here is very important for the vertical profile, including EGPWS info, so like terrain elevation. And you can see if at your current altitude you're gonna clear the elevation, sorry, the terrain.
776 Heavy. Contact break-even control 119
Switching ATC controllers.
Contact Reykjavik Control 119.7. Scandinavian 776 Heavy. Have a good evening.
Another feature only available in the 50 and the A380 is
Control. Scandinavian 776 Heavy. Flight level 410.
let's just wait for the reply.
776 Heavy. Reykjavik Control. Radar contact.
All right. So another feature is the integrated ECAMs. So there's usually the engine data and all the other extra data will be on two different ECAM windows. But since we have the digital touchscreen MF for the FMCs below, they just compressed all the data into one single ECAM window. The second one, this is just one screen, but the right side is reserved for ECAM statuses and emergencies, as well as, of course, the data link window up there. So this is basically like two windows in one, but then you have an extra one. At first I found this a bit strange. It felt like it was like why is it terrain still? Oh, this is the auto brake. Sorry about this. So I need to turn off the terrain for the Copilot. So at first I found it strange. So there's this huge screen, it's always blank. Well, there's a purpose for that. This is where all the emergencies will pop up. And I'm sure if you watched since the beginning, you could see the emergencies popping here. So these are like automated checklists that show up here on the right side. You can also switch the electronic flight back around. So if I want to put it here, I can just do this. So I can switch the CDUs to the left screen and just place the electronic flight bag on the center. This is cool for when you're inputting data and the Copilot is doing something else, or you just have a malfunction on the OIS and you want to consult it. So let's say the OIS, so the OIS is the electronic flight bag. Let's imagine that the electronic flight bag screen malfunctions. You can easily switch screens, and you can also switch data from the right side to the left side. So same thing here. I can just go display cycle and just move my Copilot screen up here. If, for example, the guy is inputting something on his flight plan right here on the right OIS, you can easily just press this button and check what he's doing, or the other way around. So I just got a message that I got a subscription. Thank you, Richard. Always generous. You're my second subscriber. Andrew was the first one. Thank you so much for the buy me a coffee. All help helps. Pardon the redundancy, but it's true. So I don't have goals. Maybe I should have goals like amounts I want to reach, but so far I just want people to enjoy my streams, and if they wish to help, feel free. And I thank you so much, Richard. You've always supportive when I thank you so much. And thank you, Andrew, of course. You were also a contributor earlier. So as you can see in the upper portion of your screen, we passed the midpoint, so we're going awfully fast in time acceleration 4 times, heading to Stockholm. So I just need to reduce my screen intensity a bit. I'm going to do it on the buttons. I really just wanted to reduce the PFT intensity, but it's alright. You can only do it on. Yeah, it only works with the brightness. Contrast is okay. Yeah. What's cool about these screens is that they're actually monitors. In fact, what's running behind this is Windows. A lot of people don't know this, but this is actually a Windows-based operating system. So it's like your computer at home. Oh, really? Richard? Yeah, I never saw an MD-11 in real life, unfortunately. But I do remember the DC-10 flying to Portugal with Varig, the Brazilian airline. And of course, TAP Portugal had the L111 and the 1011, and that's the Lockheed TriStar. And I love the Lockheed TriStar. And I really wished TAP had purchased the MD-11 because it was a bigger tri-motor. But I always loved the MD-11, and I flew the MD-11 back in the day in FSX, I believe. And it was a really crazy airplane because it was so exotic, but at the same time it was so pilot friendly with so many automations that it was really ahead of its time, only rivaled by Airbus, I think, back in the day, of course. And I was so used to Boeing that that it was so exotic for me. So we're almost reaching the Scandinavian airspace. I'm not entirely sure who's monitoring this little bit of controller region here. So this is Polaris for the Scandinavian, for Norway, but I'm not sure who controls this bit here. Maybe Russia. And if that's the case, we're gonna... No, it's definitely not Russia. It's these islands up here, some sovereign country here. So Russia is here, so definitely not Russia. There's this little bit of land that I believe it's no man's land, I think. No, probably not. It's probably controlling this area. So this is Norway airspace, and this is Sweden airspace. So I wonder what's who controls that? Could it be Canada? Doesn't make sense if it's Canada. What's written there? I'm intrigued. Hinob. Hinob. This is Sweden controlled. Look at all the area they cover all the way up north. And I believe this goes way up. Yeah, look at that. This is all not Sweden, Norway. This is all Norway up here. It's probably Scandinavian, so it's probably shared, but still, there's a lot of, oh, there it is. So only these islands. So I think Greenland operates here, Russia operates here. Who operates this little slot here? I'm not sure. One of the flights I want to make is to Oslo and Copenhagen, but I like the Nordic countries. I've actually been to one small airport called Aarhus in Denmark, and I stayed in Aarhus for 2 weeks. Best vacations of my life. There's no beaches. There are no beaches. There are no resorts. I just stayed in a hostel. Far away. Yeah, probably. Yeah, could be. Could be far. But isn't Faraway a Danish islands? I don't know. X-Plane 11? No, I did not fly the MD-11 on X-Plane, for sure. I did not fly there. The only thing I flew in X-Plane 11 were helicopters. I'm being honest. I like X-Plane as an alternate simulator, but I never enjoyed flying fixed wing on X-Plane for some reason. I always felt the flight model was too unforgiving, if you know what I mean. One thing is, you want to fly like a pro, and I believe X-Plane 11 does have a very advanced dynamic flight model, but in all honesty, it's still a game. At my level, of course. If I'm a pilot student studying to become a pilot, then I probably would like a bit more realism. But at the same time, when you're at this consumer level, you have to make things accessible. And I think flying planes, it's still doable, of course. But if you add weather, for example, I think the flight model in X-Plane is a bit too unforgiving. But maybe it's improved. I've not flown it since X-Plane, I don't know, probably X-Plane 11. Probably that was the last time I flew X-Plane. I know there's X-Plane 12, but I had it. I did a few flights on A330, and I still feel the same. I still feel it's an unforgiving flight simulator. It's too worried about realism, so much so that it kind of removes the nuances that make a flight simulator good for the general consumption, which is a mix between realism and accessibility. X-Plane does not have the second part. It just needs realism all the time. And it fails at that because it's still a game. It's just a little bit more involved, so to speak. But I did like the MD-11 overall. I think I'll enjoy it if I can manage to buy it. I think I'll enjoy it very well. And maybe memory kicks in, and I'll be remember how it flies and how to operate the systems, because I don't remember at all how it used to run. So maybe I'll spend some time studying it before I do a live stream with it. Otherwise, if I know the A350 as well as I do, and I still make mistakes, and I imagine a plane I don't know, it will be a mess. So we're about to cross another ATC boundary.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy, contact Bodo Oceanic 127.725, bye-bye.
So here it is, the handover.
Bodo Oceanic 127.725.
Faroe, you were right.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
You were right, Richard. Well, you know your stuff. It was Faroe.
Bodo Oceanic, Scandinavian 776 Heavy. Good evening. Flight level 410.
No, it's not. Oh, I heard Bodo and I heard Faroe. It's somehow similar. So it's Bodo Oceanic, this little piece of ATC controlled area. I think the Faroe are somewhere over here, right? One of these islands, one of these two islands. Because this is Danish airspace, so this is probably Faroe. I don't know my geography. Sorry about that, guys. I struggle with the geography I already have to know in my own country. So imagine it, a foreign country. So let's go back to our flight plan to check out our charts for the approach. So let's prepare stuff before we descend. So we are going for Stockholm runway 08 via LTOC 7S. Sorry. So let's go for LTOC 7S first of all. So let's go for the approach. No, sorry, the arrival. So LTOC 7 Mike 7S right here. So where's the 7S? It's LTOC 7S is, where's 7X? So this is RNAV DME approach, or arrival, sorry. So it's LTOC 7 Papa and 7 Sierra right here. So we're coming out from LTOC via SA821, then Balvi. And then after that, this is RNAV. So after that, if we are cleared, the airport's right here, so we are probably going to get an arrival approach to runway 08. Unfortunately, we do not have an ILS approach so far, so we're going to need a localizer approach. There it is. So we're going to make a direct out of that previous steer point directly towards runway 08. That is this runway direction here, which is 070. It's a localizer approach. That means that we don't have a vertical profile, but we can make a descent, a 3-degree standard descent. So we just don't have the glide slope antenna available. It's just a localizer, but it could be good enough for horizontal orientation, just not vertical. As soon as we reach this point here, so the 6 DME out of the first initial point here, so we need to look at distances. So we'll be at 2,500, and as soon as we hit 6.6 DMEs, we'll start a 3-degree descent at heading 070. We'll see. So out of Bodo into Polaris, the Polaris one I know, it's the Norway air traffic control. So yeah, the approach will be pretty standard. The only difference is that we won't have a glide slope, and that's the reason why the decision altitude or decision height is so high, 500 feet. This is what we will insert for now, because this can change. So let's go Barrow 500. Sorry, right here, Barrow 500 feet. We don't have radar altimeter to set in, and that's because we're doing an RNAV approach, and then an RNAV arrival, and then an RNAV approach. So yeah, there it is. So we're coming out of this steer point here and probably getting some radar vectors, and then runway 08 is this one right here. So we're probably going to make something like this and then approach, or it will give they will give us some radar vectors to fly southbound and then turn left. We'll see. We'll leave it at that for now. We're approaching off the top of descent, but it's still far away. It looks close because the top of descent's right there. If I do this, it will be even closer. But we are at this is the not the maximum range, is 220 nautical miles. So right now it's at about 300 nautical miles distance. You can see here not here, but we'll see that this point here is at 50 nautical miles. This one, we can take a look at our data here. It is right there. So it is. Oh, how do I put my distance here? Oh well, don't mind that. It's just way far. So it's only coming now to 240 nautical miles. And since we're going so awfully fast, though, we need to be careful not to overshoot it. So as soon as we pass Ribby, I'll reduce to 2 times time acceleration, and then attempt to go on our descent here. Again, I must thank you guys. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Richard, for your contribution today with Buy Me a Coffee. Really appreciate your support, and anybody that wishes to help. I have the QR code in the upper right area of your screen for Buy Me a Coffee. There's also a link in the description. Yes, and I could easily go a little faster if I wanted to, but let's leave it at that. We do have a slight nose wind. If we had a tailwind, then we would get a much faster ground speed, but 470 knots, that's pretty cool for ground speed. One more time, there are 2 things on your screen. On the upper right, Buy Me a Coffee, whatever you feel like helping the channel. Really appreciate your help if you can. Any support will be cool. I just want to get my add-ons to give you more content. That's exactly why I have the Buy Me a Coffee account. This is a non-profit channel, so I can't get money out of this, not yet. And on the lower left, you got the giveaway for the FS Labs A321Neo. So if you guys want to win an Airbus A321Neo, all you have to do is help me reach 100 subscriptions and come here to the chat and tell me why it should be you winning it, and I'll choose a winner. I already have 2 participants that came here to the chat and told me. One is a great friend, and the other one is a very passionate flight simmer. So kind of divided so far, but you know, if you got your own arguments, just drop in and tell me. There's no point in persuading me with either a gun or with a big amount of money. I'll just choose the most creative one. One of the things we always need to keep an eye out is the emergency procedures. And this is something that a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a couple of people have told me in the past, that sometimes I don't make the briefings, for example. Well, I'm flying solo, guys. I don't have a co-pilot. I would love to do briefings if I had a co-pilot. Takeoff briefings, landing briefings. But I can make one with you guys, but what's the point? It's not like I'm distributing tasks for you. You can't really come here and push a knob. So, as fun as that may be, and if I was training to be a pilot, I would definitely train that as a muscle memory. So I need to do, for example, the checklist. That's part of your muscle memory. You need to remember to pull the checklists and run them. Same thing with emergencies that happen. You need to pull your emergency QRH in order to address issues. That's pretty cool, and I love to do those things, but at the same time, I'm just flying solo. One day I can try one of those cockpit sharing programs. I've seen a couple, and I think they'll they work good. I'm not sure, I never tried them. But until then, I'm flying solo, so making briefings only for your viewing pleasure. Maybe I'll start making those. I need to run my SOPs, standard operating procedures, so I can recall what to say and what to do. There's also another way to, so we got landing information and dry. Apparently we're going to request a METAR again. Let's reduce our speed, just as I mentioned earlier. Actually, I'm going to fully reduce it to normal speed. So time compression is back to normal, because I want to start looking into the weather data and all that, just confirming everything. I can't do it because the ATIS isn't working, right? Oh my. Thank you, Inibuilds. It's not working. It's not working at all. So let's see if I can request through here. No. 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 Can't. Just here. I'm trying to see if I can print it. Nope. Alright, let's see if I got these messages here on the AOC. So what time is it? 21:08. Yeah, they're outdated for sure. Very outdated. We're just gonna wait for the company messages for the ATC. Let's see if I can change that to arrival. See. No, can't do much. Notified. So I would need to go to ESSA now. Disconnect now. Notify. Alright, we have notified ESSA. Let's wait for the data link to kick in. But I don't think I can request a landing clearance yet. We're gonna go with what's in the flight plan, so runway 08. But I definitely would like to have some weather, updated weather. So yeah, I'm still not able to log in mid-flight. Oh, it's been rejected. Oh, that's too bad. So we only got CPDLC apparently. That's just for departures, basically.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy. Contact Sweden Control 118.0. Have a good evening.
Alright, we're being handed over to Sweden.
Center on 118.0.
There it is.
Scandinavian 776
So we're coming up to the waypoint before LTOC. LTOC is right there.
Flight level 410.
So it's going to be Sweden Control to give us descent clearance and altitudes, and then give us the runway approach.
Radar contact.
So they got radar contact so far. That's good. Let's reduce our little buddy here. Let's keep it there. Still a bit far away. We're at more or less 70 nautical miles from top of the SEM. Still no METAR. I wish we had like an alternative way to request METARs, to be honest, because when this fails, it fails. And there's nothing here. Let's see if I can. So the AOC, it looks bugged because I just clear the messages and they just come back. And if I go to METAR, you'll see I just go back to the menu, back to AOC. Now it's clear because I already pressed the clear button. They went away and then returned. Well, there's no way to request METARs. I can request the weather via ATC. Let's see if it works. Sweden Control, Scandinavian 776 Heavy, request weather conditions at Stockholm Airport. Let's see what it says.
Scandinavian 776
All right.
Heavy. Weather at Arlanda is wind 000 at 3 knots. Temperature 14 degrees. QNH1023.
All right, thank you. All right, so ATC working for us. Pretty cool, actually. See how you can talk with it and it replies? This is unprecedented. I don't remember ever having this back in the days when I started flying for flight simulators. So always overwhelmed with how these things work. So wind is 000, probably wind variable. So it's saying 000 and it's 3 knots. We will of course request more wind information. So temperature is 14 and QNH 1023. Fine, that's really fine. All right. So you can see that on the vertical profile, well, what I was talking about. So you can see the vertical profile descending. 19 Romeo. So you see, runway was not 08. Good thing I'm always prepared. So runway 19 right, probably ILS. Yes, and via probably RL, Alto. Right, so very different entry, very different runway as well, except clearance.
Expect LTOC 3 November, runway 19 right, Scandinavian 776.
So it's the 3 November. So none of this. LTOC 3 November right here. Alright, so very different approach. So we'll just fly heading 076 and then turn right to the airfield to Oksino and then probably a direct approach via that transition point. Alright, so we're coming up on our top of descent. Let's call our little passengers back to their seats. I always turn the 3 on. So the first sign is of course a traditional seatbelt sign, and they all have a midpoint. So it says off to turn off, on of course on the top, and then on the middle it's auto. So it's automated, where it's basically just turns on if there's a gear extension or if it's in landing configuration. The middle one is a no smoking, the traditional no smoking, and also no PED. This is, I believe, to tell the passengers not to walk on the cabin. I'm not sure what no PED stands for. I'm sorry, I can't know everything, but I believe that's the sign. So you just put it to on, and they will have a little sign there. All right, let's start our descent. I wanted to send now because we're so high that I just wanted to send now. So we'll be a little below performance, but it's fine. I prefer to be lower than performance and above it. So let's call it ready for descent.
LTOC 3 November, runway 19 right, ready for descent. Scandinavian 776 heavy.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
110.
Descend to flight level 110.
Let's go 110.
Descend to flight level 110. Scandinavian 776 heavy.
There we go. And it's going to start its descent. Why is it not managed? All right, let's go optimal descent. I'm kind of used with the Airbus to have the little ball for managed, so that's why I was looking for the ball for the Airbus A320. But the 50 is a whole different ballpark. So we got optimal descent right here, and we are descending below the optimal path, so we were 1,200 feet below the optimal path. But again, I prefer to descend earlier and go lower, unless I'm flying in the mountains, of course, than to go high and then have to really hard compensate nose down to achieve the correct altitude. So apparently there's no information for rain, so I'll keep try 6 as the program, and we're gonna go for arming. We're just gonna set what I can set right now so I don't forget anything, but we will I already have this. Oh, because we changed the destination, we need to reset the performance and buy. Yeah, we need to really reset. So again, let's go back to what the weather she gave us. Where is it? All right there. So 000, probably variable. 000, 3 knots. OAT is 14, QNH 1023. And now, as a standard, I always set my radio altimeter to 200 feet, but we'll confirm this. All right, let's go back to our charts here. So now it's going to be an approach 19er right. So let's pick up 19er right, ILS or loc. Yeah, 200 as a decision height, so this is radar altimeter. This should be a standard 3 degrees, yeah, 3 degrees descent rate. Pretty standard ILS approach, nothing to it. Winds appear to be calm, so we're good to go. So let's go back to LTOC 3 November. We should see our little plane approaching this area here in a moment. So we're going to make a left-hand turn to after we pass the next waypoint at Agwin. There it is. So our reference for the approach is actually pretty low for this big, huge airplane. It's 126 knots. So pretty low speeds for such a big plane. So you can see how Airbus designed this plane so well. It's actually pretty empty, to be honest, but it's still a heavy plane. And to think that you can go as slow as 126 knots on the approach, it's just amazing. Minimum approach speed for an Airbus A320 is around 140, 145. So you can see how we are effectively going slower than an Airbus A320 that's with such a big plane. So heavy. You might think, well, if it's heavy, it's slower. No, actually it's the other way around. I would think a big plane is faster because it has bigger engines, right? You do, Sérgio. Boa noite. Muito obrigado por ter vindo. We did a very lengthy flight, although it was time compressed. So again, thank you, Michelle, Andrew, of course, here since the beginning, Richard, and now Sergio for your presence. My great friends are here. And of course, everybody else watching. I had a peak audience on this video of, I believe, 15. Maybe I misread it. Yeah, cold to cold, actually. We took off in the sun, so you see, it was nighttime in Lisbon, 9 o'clock, and local time, and now it's yeah, we did see the sunset though, because we were flying against the sun. We did see the moonrise. It was cool to see that. So this is the Scandinavian Airbus A350. Let's close this window here so you guys can see better. Sorry about the drag lines. This is caused by DLSS. It's not an airplane issue, it's a flight simulator issue. This is a beautiful plane, beautiful design, beautiful livery. Very sober, the SAS livery. A lot of people tell me, oh, to just turn off the LSS, but honestly, the frame rates, the frame rate boost I get with it, I prefer to have it, even if I get these ghosting effects sometimes. But it's a good trade-off, I suppose. And I'm pretty sure that one day NVIDIA will solve this. So we're flying already over Sweden, I believe. No, I'm sure, because we have we've already been handed over to Sweden airspace. If you want to watch the departure, Sergio, I had a small issue with the performance. The airplane takeoff performance denied giving me safe airspeeds for takeoff. That can happen if it feels the airplane, the airfield is too small. But we can live with that. I just took off with toga, which is something I rarely do, so it was fun. No flex temperatures to take off. We just go toga. Toga means take off, go around speed. This is a thrust condition for the thrust levers. We just go all the way forward and the plane will just deploy all power. It is, Richard. Yes, it is. It is, Sergio. A brand new Nuuk runway that takes in the Airbus A330. That's why I took the 350 out of there. If it was the older one, I'm not sure I would be able to even take off. I'm not sure I would be able to land with the 321 that got me there. That airfield has a small issue on the terminal. There was a hole in the terminal, a very glitchy thing. I may need to reinstall Nuuk, or maybe just call them in and ask them what's the problem. Call support. So we're descending to flight level 110 as requested by the ATC. Let's open the ATC window so you guys can see. And apparently there aren't many airplanes around, or at least that's what it looks like. Sometimes I feel like maybe Beyond ATC is just borked. Yeah, Nuuk is it's like those oldie airfields that we always thought, one day I'll fly there. And when I heard that they were developing it for Microsoft Flight Simulator, I was thrilled because I really wanted to fly there sometime. And there is another airfield I would love to fly to, also very obscure. I may take a look to see if there's an airfield for that in Flight Simulator. That's called 29 Palms. It's somewhere United States. Maybe you know where it is, Richard. 29 Palms. I don't know. Oh, sorry, Richard. You're not from the US, are you? I apologize if you're not. I may be mistaking you for someone else. Sorry. But 29 Palms is somewhere in the middle of nowhere in the United States. And I remember that when I was still flying in FSX, there was a project for that for, I believe it was Aerosoft. It is in Southern California, so you know where it is, 29 Palms. And I correct me if I'm wrong, Richard, but I believe there's an airfield, or it used to be an airfield. I mean a military airfield. But I participated in that project by doing some I did some textures for that 29 Palms airport for Aerosoft. That was so long ago, and I remember it was for FSX, and the FSX had a very limited DDS. Yes, so it's a military field. Oh, so you're in New York. Nice. And that's the other airfield, and I fell in love with the little airfield. I never flew even in Flight Simulator X, because I was involved with the project. Then the scenery was released, and I never got to it. So I never thought about it, and I missed it. But I remember I was so passionate about the little details about drawing the airfield, and I kept it in my mind. And once I remember to fly into it, I no longer had FSX, but because I believe that scenery was released when I was just flying prepared 3D already. So I did uninstall FSX, and I never installed that particular scenery I worked on. So I do remember drawing the textures, so old time. So that's another airfield. And I also like to fly to the airfields that I flew in real life. So of course I flew to Lisbon, Madeira, all those airfields I already flew. There are two airfields I have not flown yet, and I'm looking to buy the scenery for. Aarhus in Denmark, so it's in northern Denmark, and Nantes in France, and Nantes Atlantique Airport on the western side of France. I want to fly to every single airfield I've been to, except Luanda. I don't particularly have good memories from Luanda, unfortunately. So it's fine if I don't go there. But all the other airfields I'd love to. And of course, Cancun. I loved spending some vacation in Cancun, so I need to model that Cancun airfield. And all the other airfields in Europe. I flew to Frankfurt, I already flew to Frankfurt. I need to go to Schiphol, I need to go to Berlin, the Berlin Tegel, so the old airport. But I don't mind going to Brandenburg if there's the only airfield available for Flight Simulator. Of course, Madrid, Barcelona. I've already flown to Barcelona. Rome Fiumicino. I already flew there, but unfortunately, Fiumicino, I don't think it's available for 2024, so I lost that airfield. I bought it for 2020, but it is what it is. All right, we're already on the final stretch here, so you guys can see here our little magenta plane already coming in on the approach plate. We'll make a right-hand turn to this Oxino approach, and then all the way down to the runway.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy Stockholm approach. Good morning. QNH 102 expect the RNAV Zulu runway 19 right.
19 right. So, oh, you gave me the RNAV approach? Ah! They keep changing the approaches. I mean, they didn't say it was an ILS. So let's go to 080.
Descend to flight level 080. Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
Alright, so it's 19 right, and it's actually an RNAV approach, RNAV Zulu. Yeah, that's it.
776 Heavy.
Non-via.
5,000 feet. QNH 102 tree.
Descend to 5,000 feet. QNH 1023.
Just confirming the Alto 3N. It's probably gonna mess my flight plan now. Yep. So I need to clear this discontinuity. Alright. Yep, I just need to go direct to 908 before it works. No. Alright. That was a little detour because of my premature insertion of the ILS approach. It should be RNAV, but the ATC should also give me this clearance earlier, so it's not really my fault. So passing 10,000 feet, we'll go through the approach checklist in a moment. We are currently made a small deviation here, but we'll get back right on track again, and we'll be ending this particular approach here. So we are exceeding the speed limit, but we are decelerating. Speed limit below 10,000 feet, it's always 250 knots. Dominican Republic, never been. My ex-wife was there, but I have never been there. My current wife, she was in Tunisia, of course. I don't like Northern Africa. I don't like African airports as a rule of thumb because they most likely aren't. It's nothing against the region. It's just the airports are a bit lacking in terms of nav aids. I like to fly in places I can. 2,500 feet.
Descend to 2,500 feet. Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
There you go. So let's turn on the landing system as well as the velocity vector. This will not be a precision approach, so we will not activate approach just now. We're just gonna fly. Yeah, my ex-wife also been to Cape Verde. I've been to Luanda. That's it, in Africa. I almost went to Mozambique, but was called away from it in the very last moment. And it was good I was called away from it because civil war broke a few days later. Not civil war, there's uprisings in the north. Let's pull the checklist just to confirm what we need to do before we do it.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy, 5 miles from Oxenu. Turn right, heading 145. Maintain 2,500 feet until established on the final approach course. Cleared our Navy Zulu runway 19 right.
Turn right, heading 145, 2,500 feet until established. Cleared RNAV Zulu runway 19 right. Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
You know, I'm going to allow it to run the pre-established flight plan. We're a little bit above the optimal descent, so we might need to go manual and just lower the nose. We'll see. We got some clouds. Nothing special about it. I promised I would fix my track IR, but I did not, so I apologize for that. So we're gonna have to fly without track IR all the way in. Let's go for the RNAV approach plate. because we need. Where's the RNAV? We need the decision height altitude. There it is. So decision height, okay, it's still 200. Let's put that on performance. So we got minimums, runway condition, auto brake. Alright, let's go to the tower. Bear reference.
Contact tower 118.505.
318.
776 heavy. Arlanda tower, Scandinavian 776 heavy. Arnav Zulu runway 19 right.
Temperature 14. I don't remember the wind, but I think it was.
Scandinavian 776 heavy. Arlanda tower. Wind 110 at 6. Runway 19 right cleared to land.
110 at 6.
Runway 19 right cleared to land. Scandinavian 776 heavy.
6. Alright. Ah, come on. 6. Alright, we're good to go. Whew, we're very, 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 very high. Yeah, well. 1023. Yeah, we're not gonna make it. We're gonna have to go around. I'm just setting up my stuff here. I mean, I can make it if I want to, but let's not. Let's not take chances here. Come on, let me speak. Arlanda Tower, Scandinavian 776 heavy going around. It's gonna give me radar vectors. Beyond ATC is very slow today.
6 heavy. Go around. Fly runway centerline. Maintain 2,500 feet.
Alright.
Going round. Fly runway centerline. Maintain 2,500 feet. Scandinavian 776 heavy.
So we need to descend, not climb, but okay.
Scandinavian 776 heavy. Contact Stockholm approach 123.755.
Yeah, it was my bad. I was so concentrated in filling in the data. That's why I need a co-pilot, gentlemen.
76 heavy. Speak soon. Stockholm approach. Scandinavian 776 heavy.
We still got the fuel, so no worries.
Scandinavian 776
2,500.
Continue.
Continue. Scandinavian 776 heavy.
Speed check flaps 1. So let's keep our speeds in acceptable terms. 160 knots is fine. Just waiting for the vectors to turn around. I'm way too high. Was way too high, Sergio. No way I could descend. I was descending at 1,000 feet per minute, and that was the issue. I was so concentrating putting data on the FMS that I've completely disregarded the rest. So in those conditions, one pilot is inputting data, the other is flying the plane. I couldn't do both, so one day I'll have a co-pilot. But Betsy just doesn't cut it. So now I'm waiting for the radar vectors to turn around and then try again. I don't know why it doesn't give me ILS approach though, but we'll just try again. My only concern is fuel, but we still got 6.2 tons, so It's enough for the alternate. It's enough to go around a couple of times. So this is beautiful Stockholm, Sweden. Can't see much during the night, but trust me, the city's there. A FLIGHTSIM, boa noite.
Heading 260.
Right, heading 260.
Turn right. Heading 260. Scandinavian 776 heavy.
I don't like being in the hands of ATC when it comes to radar vectors because it tends to be a little chaotic, but recently I've done a couple of flights when I had ATC controlling me on the go-around, and it worked well. Good evening, Flip. I loved your F-16 video. Gostei muito de ver o vídeo do F-16. Muito fixe, muito fixe. É uma pena não teres apanhado a aterragem, porque infelizmente aqui não vi ninguém a apanhar a aterragem como deve ser. Vi um vídeo, mas epá, não, a câmera não presta para nada. O coitado do rapaz não conseguiu apanhar o avião como deve ser. Precisamos aí do Filipe ou do José a fazer estes vídeos, caso contrário, já não consegue ver nada de jeito. So, if for those that don't know, Filipe is a plane spotter. It has a channel called Lisbon Airport Spotting. If you search on YouTube, you'll find it. And today, Filipe filmed the F-16 departing, F-16 Lockheed Martin F-16 Fighting Falcon departing Lisbon Airport in real life. So, if you guys like these things, make sure to visit his channel. I'm pretty sure a good chunk of people that are watching are already familiar.
776 heavy. Turn right. Heading 360. Expect further clearance at about 26 miles.
Not this one, the other knob.
Turn right. Heading 360. Scandinavian 776 heavy.
360. Still at 2,500 feet. I'm not very comfortable flying such a big plane at such a low altitude, but okay. They said they will give us a clearance in 26 miles, so we'll probably reach somewhere over here before we can turn in to try our landing. So the runway is right there. And we're just gonna go up over there, make a right turn, and then fly in. Since the wind is calm, they could give us another run. Let's not take chances here. I could try to come here in a menu and request a different approach, but let's keep on keeping on. Let's not take chances. Still need to get there. Let's increase speed a little bit. We can go up to 200 knots, I suppose. You can see how fast this thing accelerates. It's crazy. Alright, flaps up. We got some tailwind, it's helping us a little bit. There's the airfield. We still got the RNAV data, so we'll be able to have some visual aids to approach. This is a non-precision approach with RNAV. Yes. So I just performed the go round, and ATC is giving me vectors to enter the right downwind. So right now I'm on the right downwind for runway 19 right, and then I'll make a right-hand turn to final. You can see my plane here. We go all the way up here and restart our approach from SA 531, apparently. So beyond ATC is hit or miss with radar vectoring, so we need to be very careful.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy, turn right, heading 015.
015.
Turn right, heading 015.
So it's basically telling me to shorten my downwind.
Stockholm approach. Scandinavian 2968. Flight level 245 with the numbers.
Scandinavian 2968 Stockholm approach. Good morning. QNH 102 expect radar vectors for ILS runway.
It is good morning locally. We're still on Nuuk time. It's midnight from Nuuk, but
023 expect radar vectors for ILS runway 19 left. Scandinavian 2968.
we're gonna have like a 15-minute delay.
Scandinavian 2968, turn right, heading 360. Descend to 2,500 feet. QNH 1023, vectors for the approach.
So that other Scandinavian flight is asking for vectors for the approach.
2,500 feet. QNH 1023. Scandinavian 2968.
So you can see that this particular Stockholm approach is only set for 19 left and 19 right. So it probably has two approaches, one set for north or another set for south, which is pretty cool. When you come to bigger airports, you start seeing ATCs divided by sectors. We don't have that in Portugal because the airfields are so small, we only have one runway. But imagine if you have a big, huge airport with multiple runways, you need to have multiple sectors. In the United States, it's crazy. It's like an airport has multiple towers. You have multiple towers to call to, multiple ground numbers as well, frequencies, I mean. Only in Europe, you mostly, in Southern Europe mostly, you'll see single ATC airfields because, you know, even though some airports are big, they can still manage the traffic pretty well with just one ATC, but not these huge ones. Especially if there's more traffic coming from the US, for example, or coming from the north, and more regional flights from the south could be the case. So you need to have distinct ATC controllers for that. Still waiting for that turn, buddy. Here we go.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy, turn right.
Should be the final turn before it clears us. Let's see if it is.
Turn right, heading 065. Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
We're going to reduce our speed here to minimum approach speed. Hopefully it's the final stretch. Speed check flaps 1. And now it's going to clear us right to the RNAV approach again, hopefully. I can switch this to an ILS approach if needed. We'll see. Yep.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy, 900 miles from Oxenu. Turn right, heading 155. Maintain 2,500 feet until established on the final approach course. Cleared our Navy Zulu runway 19
Whoops.
right.
155.
Turn right, heading 155, 2,500 feet until established. Cleared RNAV Zulu runway 19 right. Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
Alrighty. So we're back in the landing system. I just turn on approach. We are going to intercept light slope below, but we got a RNAV clearance, so I'm just using that to intercept the localizer for now. Then I'll turn it off. Let's go a little faster now. We got no speed restrictions except for the 250 knots below 10,000, so we're good to go. Still waiting for that localizer to come alive. You can see the runway right there, so it's still a bit ways off, a bit askew. That's why the localizer is not alive. So we got the localizer armed and glide slope armed, altitude and heading and taking the plane for now. Blue is set for armed, green is active. And then boxed green is intercepted and locked. You'll see that happening. So you see locked, localizer star. It's intercepting the localizer. So we changed to approach mode. That's why you heard the beeping. Beep, beep, beep. We changed radar autopilot modes. So we're now in lock star. In a moment, glide slope will start descending. We'll have lock star, lock GS, but we'll turn off approach to continue on manually. We got a new subscriber. Who is it? Let me see. So DC9116, thank you for your subscription, appreciate it. So remember guys, any good landing is a good landing. Any landing is a good landing if you can continue operating the plane afterwards. Doesn't matter if it's hard or smooth. Approach checklist, better reference 1023, set and cross check.
Contact our landing tower 118.505.
118.505.
Tower 118.505. Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
Minimum is set 200 feet. Running condition is dry. Auto brake is set. Approach checklist complete. So set right here. Approach auto brake set. Runway dry 6. We got our speed brakes armed. Our V approach is 125 knots.
Runway 19 right cleared to land. Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
Here we go. V app. Speed check flaps 2. Glide slope boxed.
2,000.
2000 check. And gear down. Speed check, flaps full.
All aircraft be advised information Lima now current. QNH 102 tree.
Flaps are set, landing gear down 3 green. Cabin's not ready, let's call the guys. Come on, purser. We went around a couple of times, you need to be... Alright, cabin's ready. Landing checklist. Should be ECAM status, no blue. Checklist complete. $1,000 check. Autopilot off. Whoa, 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 whoa. That was a really bad trim departure with autopilot off. Not my fault. Don't know what happened there, but not good. Landing Inibuild. Light slope localizer intercepted. Manual approach. Got some slight wind from the left. Just
500.
500 check.
400.
400 check. Just grabbing a little bit. Not too much.
300.
Check. A bit too high. Nose down. Nose down.
100 above.
Check. Too high.
200. Minimum.
Continue.
100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Roll out. Auto brakes. Reversers. Reverses in.
Scandinavian 776
Auto brake off.
Exit next available taxiway.
Exit next available taxiway. Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
That was a smooth landing. Runway exit procedures. Sorry about that. Oh, my Trek IR isn't functioning. Thank you guys. Let's clear the plane.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy. Contact ground 121.705.
Start up here. And let's hop here.
Ground 121.705. Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
Flight director off. Let's taxi to the assigned gate.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy. Request taxi to allocated gate.
Scandinavian 776 Heavy. Gate Foxtrot Tree taxi via Yankee 5, Yankee, X-ray, Zulu November, Zulu Papa.
Gate Foxtrot 33 via Yankee 5, Yankee, X-ray, Zulu November, Zulu Papa, Scandinavian 776 Heavy.
F33, so right here. We just arrived on 19 right. I don't see my plane here though. Stand by because I need to look into the airport chart. Where am I? Alright, I'm right here. So I need to go left and all the way over here. Alright, let's do just that. APU is available. Come on, big boy. believe I need to turn here. Let me confirm it for you guys. No, I just need to go forward. Can barely see it, I'm sorry. Need to go forward via this lane here. When you don't know the airport, you can request to follow me via GSX, which is cool. Turn right here. So I'm going to turn off. We've been 3 minutes after landing. We turn off single engine taxi in. So we'll stay on this lane, keeping on the outside. Remember, if you want to perform single engine taxi in or taxi out, remember to have the APU on, because you do need 2 engines supplying energy and bleed air. So we are coming up on the right turn, not this one. The third to the right is the one we'll take. So this is the first one, passed. Second one, passed. And now the third one. This is the one we'll take all the way down to Foxtrot 33. If all went well, GSX is already preparing the spot. So here's hoping things work out. Alright, this is our call here. Beautiful Lufthansa and SAS airplanes already there, welcoming us. Alright, let's go forward. It's a nice service car there. So we do have those lights there. We have to obey to that. So those are hazard lights, I believe. So you can't really cross them. You need to follow the green lights. So we go through this side. And now I'm gonna look here. Let's minimize this. We no longer need this actually. And let's turn into F33 right there. This one right here. F33. Here we go. Are we good, GSX? I'm not sure. Here's hoping everything's fine and dandy with GSX. I don't see a marshaller there. Let me confirm it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just too cautious sometimes, but it is what it is. So see, it was waiting for me to pick an operator. Now there's a guy standing on the scaffolding. It's going to disappear, I'm sure, because it's got a VDGS, so it's got an automated system behind him. I did get the penalty last time. You remember, Sergio? I parked in the wrong parking spot in Lisbon. That was awful. Really awful. Alright, here we go. Let's zoom in a little bit. A350. Alright, soft means that... Whoa! Look at that! I just clipped that guy's wing. I think I parked too far, didn't I? You know, there's always a trick. You guys know the trick. You come here, GSX menu.
You need to stop the engines to request ground services.
Alright, you're right. Sorry, Betsy. Engine stop. And now,
Set parking brakes to request ground services.
just warp me there. And now we should be fine. So one door is open, some way, somehow. The gate is already clipped in. Come on, just...
You need to set parking brakes to request ground services.
It is set. Parking brakes is set. Bam, now I'm good. Alright. Here comes the bridge. Alright, so we're good to go. Just waiting for the we're just waiting for the GPU to connect. Chocks are set. We can turn off APU for now. Let's turn on the dome lights. Right, welcome to Stockholm in Sweden. Parking checklist. Parking brakes set and chocks are on. Engines are off. Wing lights will be off. They're already off. And the fuel pumps turning off. Brakes are hot. Let's bring up that synoptic. Oh, this right there. So let's turn on the brake fans. Oh, no brake fans. So this aircraft doesn't have brake fans. If it had it, it would have a little button here. So no brake fans. So if we were to follow correct procedures, this plane would need to wait till the brakes would cool down to continue operation if it was a turnaround flight. All right, so checklist complete. Let me just complete the checklist. Securing the aircraft, ADIRS. Well, we'll perform that afterwards. All right, guys. Thank you all for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed. My parking spot was picked by the ATC. It doesn't appear to be the correct one because I'm clipping the other guy's wings. But this is
the boarding requested.
Request the boarding. So this is just a hiccup, like a lot of other items in this simulator. Sometimes these things will happen. Oh, what just happened here? Emergency slider just deployed for some reason. Anyway, plane's being deported. Let's just hide it. Let's pretend that never happened. Alright, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Welcome to Scandinavia. Welcome to Sweden. Welcome to Stockholm. Next flight will be out of Stockholm. We're going to take another heavy, but not the A350. We're going to fly the infamous Boeing 777. So if you guys want to stick around and enjoy, remember to leave a like, subscribe. You'll be notified for the next stream. I also need to thank AMC, Richard, and Andrew for their kind donations. And I also need to thank Sergio, Airport Wing, Jose, Lisbon Airport Spotting, Flip, and Michelle from on the beginning. And everybody else that just subscribed today. 2 new subscribers, thank you very much. If you guys like what you see, please subscribe, if you guys want to help the channel, you got to buy me a coffee QR code on the upper right. You also have the link on the description if you wish, and also on my page. Thank you all for coming. The next flight will be better. There's always something happening here. If you guys make mistakes during Flight Simulator, you're not alone. I make them too, and I like to correct when I can. So yeah, this was the A350 from Inibuilds. I also have a FlightSim Labs A321Neo to give away. Look, read on the description to know more. And have a nice evening, and hope to see you next time. Thank you all so very much. Goodbye.
I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dreams begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dreams begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drums begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soared into the